Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys all had a fabulous Monday or Tuesday, depending on when you're watching this video. Today we're going to continue our work on circles. We're taking this unit nice and slow. We're just doing a little bit each day so that you guys can really grasp circles. And to be honest, the circles unit is my absolute favorite. I just think it's so cool where all of this information starts to tie in, and circles are just very unique, and I love this unit. So if I seem really excited about it all the time, that's why, even more so than usual. So today we're going to continue working. We're going to work with something you guys might have already used in the past. We're going to be working with the area and circumference formulas for circles. And if you've seen it already, which I believe a lot of you have, this should just be a little bit of a review, but we still need to make sure we're all on track to get it done anyway. So we're just going to continue to practice with this stuff today, okay? All right, so let's start off with what exactly is the circumference? Okay, what exactly is the circumference? Well, you know how the distance around the outside of a polygon is called the perimeter, and we can find that perimeter by simply adding all of the sides together, and it's just the distance around the outside. Well, we have a special name for circles for the perimeter of a circle because circles are just special. They're not polygons. They don't have sides. It's a collection of points, an infinite number of points that are all the same distance away from a central point, okay? So the distance around the outside of the circle is special, and therefore we have a special name for it called the circumference. There's this interesting Greek letter called pi that represents a relationship between different pieces of a circle, and pi just so happens to be the same constant all the time. And you guys might have heard of pi as 3.14. Okay, that's pi, 3.14. Now, pi is just the ratio of the circumference of a circle to the diameter. So it doesn't matter what size the circle is. The circumference, the distance around the outside, divided by that circle's diameter is always going to be equal to this pi. And that's where this ratio of pi comes from. So you're going to see pi a lot throughout the unit when we're working with circumference and area. You can just use pi in your answer. We're going to treat it like it's a variable, like it's an x. We're just going to leave pi in our answer. You don't need to multiply it out. All right, so area formula. The area of a circle is pi times the radius squared. And the circumference of the circle is 2 times pi times the radius. Or it's pi times the diameter, because remember, 2 times the radius, we learned this yesterday, 2 times the radius is equal to the diameter. So you could represent the circumference with two equations. It could be 2 times pi times the radius or pi times the diameter, depending on what information you have, okay? So find the area for circles 1 to 4 and the circumference for circles 5 to 8. So area, 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 area. And then we have circumference, 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 circumference. Okay, so the area is pi times the radius squared. We don't have a second equation for area, so you always have to know what the radius is in order to find the area. In this case, my radius is 12. It's the distance from the center of the circle to the point on the outside. So it's pi times 12 squared. And remember, we're just treating pi like it's a variable. I'm not plugging in 3.14. So the only thing I can simplify now is 12 squared, which is 144. And then we put pi at the end of our answer. Okay, so we have 144 pi meters squared, because you always put your use units squared in final answer. Okay. All right, so next one, they give us the diameter. The diameter is 18, which means my radius is half of 18, which is 9. So this is going to be pi r squared, pi times 9 squared. 9 squared is 81. We put pi on our answer, and this would be in inches squared. All right. Okay, I want you guys to try numbers 3 and 4. You will need a calculator for these because they are not nice numbers to square. All right, so for number 3, we've got pi r squared. Our radius is 2.8. 2.8 squared is 7.84 pi. And then feet squared for our units. Okay, so number 4, our diameter, and again, this is a diameter because it stretches across the entire circle. So we want half of that to get the radius, and half of 35 is 17.5. So my radius is 17.5. So we've got pi times 17.5 squared. And 17.5 squared is 306.25. And this is kilometers squared for our units. Okay, so that's area. That's how you find the area. You just use that little formula that we've got. Let's move along to circumference. So first, with each problem, it might be helpful to see, do you have the radius or do you have the diameter? In this one, we have the radius. Radius is 7. So the formula that I'm going to use is 2 pi r. 2 times pi times 7. Again, pi is just a variable. When you multiply, the order of multiplication doesn't matter. So I could do 2 times pi, or I could do 2 times 7, which gives me 14 pi. And then we have millimeters. And this isn't units squared. This is just regular units. So I guess I should clarify that that goes here. Okay. So we only use square units in our area. We use regular linear units when we're doing our circumference. Okay. So again, we did 2 pi r for that one because they gave us the radius and we had to multiply by 2. So let's skip down to number 7. Number 7, they give us the diameter is 58. Okay, so in that case, I want to use pi times diameter, all right? And my answer here is just 58 pi yards. So when they give you the diameter, it's really simple. You just tack the pi on the end of your answer, and that's how you get your final circumference, okay? Now, granted, some problems you won't be able to leave the answer in terms of pi, or it might ask you to multiply it out. I would advise using the pi button on your calculator, but if worse comes worse, you could just use 3.14. It's really not that big of a deal. All right, so give the video a pause, try 6 and 8, and then come back and check your answer. Okay, and then here we have our answers for 6 and 8. In number 6, they gave us the radius, so I used the 2 pi r formula. In number 8, they give us the diameter, so we just use pi times diameter. Okay? All right, we're going to move on to some word problems here. Number 9, find the diameter of a circle with a circumference of 6.97 meters. So nothing really changes here in the sense that you still need to determine which formula you're using. So they're giving us circumference. So we're going to write out circumference equals, and they want us to find the diameter. Okay, so circumference, diameter. So I'm going to use the pi times d formula, all right? Well, they give us the actual circumference. So 6.597 is our value for C. So now instead of plugging in our value for D, I'm going to plug in our value for C. So we have 65.97 equals pi times diameter. We're going to divide both sides by pi, and we get D equals, and now I want you to actually do the 65.97 divided by pi. It's not nice to have a denominator of pi, but if we have pi in the numerator, it's okay to leave it that way. Okay, so if you are using a graphing calculator, you will see a button over to the right, or if you're using the calculator that I told you guys to use online, you'll see the pi button. It's under clear. There's a little caret that kind of looks like this, and it has a little tiny pi in the upper corner of it. You hit second and then that button, okay? If that's too much for you to remember, it's not a big deal. You could just divide by 3.14, All right, so if you just want to do 65.97 divided by 3.14, it's fine. You're just going to round your answer, which it'll be kind of obvious what they want you to round to anyway. So when we divide this, okay, I would accept an answer of 21. So if you divide by 3.14, it gives you 21.00955, so on and so forth. If you divide by the pi button, it gives you 20.99. So either way, if we rounded, we get 21, and our answer is meters. Okay? All right, so now let's try this one. This one, they want us to find the radius with the circumference. So I'm going to use circumference equals 2 pi r because they want us to find the radius. So now our circumference is 21.99. So I'm subbing that in for C. Okay. Now, in order to get the r by itself, I need to divide this by 2 pi. All right, so 21.99 divided by 2 pi is going to give us about 3.5 feet as our answer. Now you have to be careful when you're typing something like that in the calculator, because if you just type 21.99 divided by 2 pi, it's going to give you the wrong answer. It's going to give you 34.5. But if you do 21.99 divided by and put your 2 pi in parentheses, that's going to give you the right answer. So you need to make sure that when you're dividing by a denominator that has multiple things in it, you need to put that in parentheses, okay? All right, so I want you guys, we're going to do 11 and 13. We're going to do the odds in here, and then you're going to come back and you're going to check the evens with the video. Okay, so let's start off with the odds. So number 11, find the radius of a circle with circumference of 35 pi yards. So remember, we're going to use our circumference formula, and they want the radius. So C equals 2 pi r, okay? They give us the circumference as 35 pi, so that's what I'm plugging in. And now I could just divide by 2 pi. Now, these kind of problems make it a little bit nicer because on the left side here, our pi's cancel out. So all you have to type in is 35 divided by 2, and we get 17.5 yards. Okay. If you didn't realize that they canceled out, you would still get the same answer. Like the calculator would cancel them out for you. All right. 13, find the diameter of a circle with an area of 615.75. Okay, so this one's a little bit different because they are giving us area, okay? So area equals, whoops, wrong formula. Area equals pi r squared. Now, they are asking for the diameter in this problem. We don't have a formula for area that involves diameter, so we're going to find the radius and then multiply it by 2 to get the diameter, okay? And so this is our area. So I have 615.75 equals pi r squared. I'm going to divide by pi. And we get about 196, I'm just rounding, equals r squared. And then how do you undo the square? You take the square root. And the square root of 196, I think, is 14? Yep, 14. So the radius is 14. But the diameter is equal to 2 times the radius, okay? So it's 2 times 14, which is 28 centimeters. All right, so if they just asked for the radius, we'd be able to stop here. But since they asked us for the diameter, we needed to take the radius and multiply it by 2. Okay. You guys are going to do the even, so let's try number 15. Find the area of a circle with a circumference of 26 pi feet. So the circumference is equal to 26 pi. And area is equal to pi r squared. So in order to find the area of a circle, we need to know the radius. So I need to use this formula to find the radius. Now, we know that the circumference is 26 pi, so we're going to set 26 pi equal to 2 pi r, dividing both sides by 2 pi. The pi's cancel out. I get 26 divided by 2, which is 13 for the radius. Okay? So first thing we did is we took the circumference of 26 pi feet and we used it to find the radius. Next step, we're going to use our radius and we're going to plug it into our area formula. So pi times 13 squared gives me 169 pi feet squared for my area. So these problems are two-step because they give you either the area or the circumference. You need to use it to find the radius or diameter and then use it in the second formula. So these are kind of multi-step problems here. All right, find the circumference of a circle with an area of 201.06 inches. So area is equal to pi r squared. So I'm going to take this 201.06 and set it equal to pi r squared. So first thing I do is divide by pi. So 201.06 divided by pi is about 64. And then to undo the square, I take the square root. So I get that my radius is 8, okay? Now they want us to find the circumference. And since I have the radius, we're going to use our 2 pi r formula. So we have 2 times pi times 8, and we get 16 pi inches for our circumference. All right. Last one, number 19. Find the area of a circle with a circumference of 18.84 yards. Okay, so find the area. We have the circumference. So the circumference is equal to 2 pi r. I'm going to divide by 2 pi. So 18.84. Don't forget, put the 2 pi in parentheses. And we get 3, about 3. It's 2.998, so I'm just going to round that to 3. So my radius is 3. We want circumference. Oh, no, sorry, we want the area. Area equals pi r squared. Pi 3 squared is 9 pi square yards. Okay. All right, so that's it on area and circumference. What I want you guys to do is you are going to submit 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to submit the evens of this worksheet. So again, what you're going to do is you're going to complete 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. If you want to print out the notes, you could do it right here, or you could just do it on a separate sheet of paper. Be sure to show your work. Okay, and then as always, submit your work as a PDF so I can mark it up and have you guys make changes on anything that's wrong. Okay, if you have any questions, shoot me an email, leave a private comment. I know you guys all have group chats. Ask somebody in class. Okay, you're doing a great job so far with this stuff, and I'm really proud of you. Keep up the good work. I will talk to you guys soon.